Hey guys, let's talk about Trump derangement syndrome for a minute. TDS is this idea that if you criticize this administration, then you must clearly be mentally ill. Your dissent itself is a symptom. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ian. I study a lot and I break shit down so you don't have to. I have a background in all kinds of stuff, but for this one, I'll just name what matters: behavioral neuroscience and psychology. So, is this made up psychopathology a new tactic, you might ask? Nope, it isn't. The Soviet Union had a diagnosis called sluggish schizophrenia. It was invented by a state psychiatrist named Andrei Snevsky so that the Soviet state could formally classify political opposition as a mental illness. The logic was that if you oppose the greatest political system in the world, you must be mentally ill. The rest of the symptoms just haven't presented themselves yet, hence the term sluggish. They thought there was no other rational explanation for it. The symptoms necessary for a diagnosis were pessimism, conflict with authority, and delusions of reformism. I'm not joking, that was a diagnostic criteria to get slapped with a sluggish schizophrenia label in the Soviet Union, and at least 20,000 people were institutionalized under this diagnosis. Is that the only example? Why, no, it's not. Since about the 1950s, China has had a version of their own, and as far as I know, it's still on the books. It's called political harm to society. And like sluggish schizophrenia, it allows the Chinese government a basis to order involuntary psychiatric detention. Now, here in the good old US of A, our administration has issued an executive order authorizing forced institutionalization as a tool to maintain public order. They've issued a national security memorandum, NSPM 7, that defines things like anti capitalism and anti Christianity indicators of domestic terrorism or extremism. They've gutted Medicaid funding for community based care, all the services that are meant to keep people out of institutions. And a couple of days ago, the DOJ issued a memo with the express intent of dismantling the longstanding legal protection against forced institutionalization. Now, I'm not saying what road we're on, I'm just saying it looks a lot like some roads that have been traveled before. I'm Ian. This is the Decency Rebellion.